Let's be honest for a second. There's a massive gap between the life you talk about and the life you actually live. And the only bridge between the two? Action. The magic phrase we're diving into today is deceptively simple, but it's the key that unlocks your potential. Do it now. This isn't just about productivity hacks or waking up at 5 a.m., unless you're into that. It's about rewiring your brain to stop putting off the life you were meant to live. It's about recognizing that the only difference between people who talk big and people who live big is that one group takes action, especially when it's hard. Let's call out the most seductive word in your vocabulary: later. It's cozy, non-threatening, and just reassuring enough to convince you to stay exactly where you are. But here's the truth. Later is where dreams go to die. Think about it. You don't wake up one day having completely abandoned your dreams. You lose them slowly, one postponed decision at a time. One, I'll do it tomorrow. One, next week sounds better. One, now's not the right time. Later is like a con artist. It sounds comforting, but it's stealing from you every second it sticks around. It robs you of energy, momentum, passion, growth, and worst of all, time. You don't get that back. You just don't. I've fallen for the later trap too, more times than I care to admit. Maybe you've told yourself you'll start the business once things settle down. Maybe you've promised your kids you'll spend more time with them, eventually. Or maybe you've put your dreams on pause until life gets less chaotic. Spoiler alert, life never slows down. You do. You get older. You get more comfortable. You start to cling to routines. You settle. You rationalize. And later becomes your default answer to everything that requires courage. Here's the real kicker. We often treat time like a bottomless resource. But let me tell you something that might sting a bit. You don't have as much time as you think. Every time you choose the path of least resistance, every time you say, not today, you're gambling with your future. Sure, there's a cost to action. It takes effort, energy, and risk. But there's also a much bigger, often invisible cost to inaction. Let's put it this way. Action costs discomfort. Inaction costs your dreams. You know what's truly painful? Regret. Not just the oops, I made a mistake kind of regret. I'm talking about the soul-crushing realization that you had the time, the talent, the opportunity, and you did nothing. Now let's get a little nerdy for a second. There's a concept in psychology called temporal discounting. Basically, your brain is wired to prioritize immediate rewards over future ones. It's why eating a donut feels better than hitting the gym, and why Netflix is more appealing than launching your passion project. Our brains are biased toward now. Right now feels good. Later feels vague and distant, like a hazy version of ourselves that we think will somehow be more motivated, more energized, and better equipped. That version of you? They don't exist. The only real you is the one reading this right now. And it's up to you to make the moves. Every decision has a price tag. Here's a wake-up call. Everything you do, or don't do, has a cost. Start a business? You risk failure. You risk being judged. You might feel exposed, but you also gain the chance to build something amazing. Don't start? You keep your comfort, sure, but you pay with regret, with lost freedom, with the pain of knowing you stayed small. The same goes for relationships. Not telling your partner how you really feel. That feels easier today. But the long-term cost is intimacy, connection, maybe the relationship itself. Not prioritizing your health today feels like no big deal, but you're literally shortening your lifespan. So you have to ask yourself, are you measuring the cost of action, or are you finally starting to consider the cost of inaction? So pick your pain. There's no avoiding hard. You either face the pain of discipline now, or the pain of regret later. Both come with a price, but only one builds a life you're proud of. As the legendary Jim Rohn put it, discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. Which weight would you rather carry? Your future self is real. Let's talk about someone you haven't met yet, but definitely will. Your future self. You know, the version of you that's 5, 10, 20 years down the line. What do they look like? What does their life feel like? Are they fulfilled, respected, free, or are they bitter, exhausted, and full of what-ifs? There's this concept from neuroscience. Your brain literally sees your future self as a stranger. That's why we treat our future well-being with such disregard. But that stranger, that's you. And one day, you'll have to face them. When that day comes, what kind of life will you have built? Build your do-it-now muscle. If you're not taking the kind of action you want in your life, it's not because you're lazy. It's because your do-it-now muscle is weak, and your delay-it muscle is a bodybuilder on steroids. Taking action is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And it starts with the smallest reps. Every time you feel that urge to put something off, and instead you do it now, you strengthen your habit of action. No, you won't build this overnight. Habits take time, 60 to 100 days, in fact, according to behavioral research. But once it clicks, taking action becomes second nature. So what's the first step? Just do the thing. That email you're scared to send? Send it. That call you've been avoiding? Make it. That messy Instagram post for your business? Post it. Progress is better than perfection. And movement, no matter how messy, beats stillness every time. Call out your laters. Here's a little exercise for you. Grab a notebook and write down all the laters you've been telling yourself. The things you've convinced yourself you'll do eventually. I'll start working out later. I'll fix my relationship later. I'll launch my business later. Now, circle the one that hurts the most. The one that makes your gut twist because you know it matters. That's your golden opportunity. That's where you start. Every time your brain whispers, "Not now," respond with "Do it now." Discipline is a trainable skill. Self-control isn't something you either have or you don't. It's a skill. Research from Stanford, shout out to Kelly McGonigal's work on willpower, shows that self-control depletes throughout the day. But the more you practice it, the stronger it gets. Your default reaction might be to delay, avoid, scroll. But with consistent practice, you can literally rewire your brain to default to action. It won't be perfect, but it will get easier. And one day, you'll wake up and realize you are the kind of person who gets things done, progress over perfection. Want some real talk? Stop trying to be perfect. Just take the next step. Messy action beats perfect inaction every single time. Launch the imperfect website. Record the shaky first podcast. Sit down with your kid and be present. Make the call even if your voice shakes. You don't need a flawless plan. You just need movement. Time doesn't lie, it reflects. Time is either your biggest ally or your worst enemy. It's always working, but are you working with it or against it? Fast forward 10 years. Are you going to be thanking your past self for starting now, or cursing them for wasting so much time? That's the thing about time. It keeps the receipts. It tells the truth, and it reflects the choices you made or didn't make. Make this your mantra. So what now? Adopt this as your new mantra asterisk asterisk. If it matters, I do it now. Say it again, out loud, right now. This isn't hustle culture. This isn't about working 100 hours a week and burning out. This is about self-respect. It's about saying, I believe in my future so much, I'm willing to do the hard thing today. Because you deserve a life that feels like yours, not a life filled with excuses, comfort zones, and endless maybes. So, next time your brain starts to bargain with you, whispering sweet little nothings like, just do it tomorrow, interrupt it. Stand up, take the step, do it now.